because Katt Williams just broke the internet today. He was on
student Josh.
He was on. Yeah, I got pages of notes, y'all. Like I'm not playing around. So he was on Club ShayShay's podcast. Shout out Shannon Sharp. And Katt Williams just let loose a lot of things that were told on Shannon's show before that were false, to things in the industry that he knows that's like, y'all are capping. Like, this ain't true. You didn't do this. This guy's a plant. This guy got signed to the Illuminati. So he starts to...
Wait. Before you go into like the things he was saying, these are alleged. There is no facts being proved behind it. Don't come at us with lawsuits or saying that we spreading false information and all this stuff. These are alleged rumors. We're repeating what Katt Williams had said.
Exactly.
Just putting that disclaimer out there first. Go ahead.
And I got his number too. He said he got the receipts for you niggas.
I was just about to say, does he have the receipts?
He said he got the
Does he
receipts.
have
Go
the
ahead, Josh.
receipts?
Go ahead,
He
Josh.
said he got them, but he hasn't shown them or anything. So
I don't got his number, but I can get in contact with him. I can get contact with him.
So he was going out to everybody from Ricky Smiley to Steve Harvey to Kevin Hart,
Cedric the Entertainer.
So a few of the guys from the Kings of Comedy from that series. Mm-hmm. So he was calling out Ricky Smiley because he was on Club ShayShay recently. I don't know how long ago it was.
I think that was earlier this year.
Yeah, it was pretty recent.
Going on a
few months ago.
Yeah, so he was saying how Money Mike was originally supposed to be his role, and like how it wasn't supposed to go to Katt Williams. He was supposed to be like the Santa Claus character in Friday After Next. And Katt Williams got on there and said, "No, like what is this dude talking about? He's straight up lying. I came up with the entire wardrobe for him, from the clothes to the cars to his lines that he used,
his hair,
and everything, like down to all the fine details."
And he even said like they wanted. My bad, I didn't mean to cut you off. But he even said that he wanted. They wanted to get an actor to play a pimp, and he's like, instead of getting an actor to play a pimp, let's get a real pimp in here. And he called Bishop Don Juan to come do his little cameo in the scene. Yeah. And that's what Katt Williams said. Like, I made Money Mike. You ain't. That role wasn't for you.
Yeah. And then he was just really upset that like because Shannon didn't really know anything about like the situation. He thought like it was just breaking news, because when secrets like that get brung out, it's usually because not a lot of people have really ever talked about it or had the opportunity before. So he's just taking it at face value. And Katt Williams is like, "Nah, man, you ain't never heard nobody say anything to even reference anything close to that, like at any point in time." We got a question.
Because Katt Williams is, because I haven't watched the whole thing, but were you saying that even though Katt Williams said he came up with the character and everything, that don't mean it was for Katt Williams? Because if it was for him...
No, he auditioned for the character, but there were hundreds of people that he said auditioned for that same role, and he ended up getting it. But there was some stuff with the character that he ended up changing. He ended up being the one that made all of the lines for him and made it pop the way that they did. Like, originally, his character was supposed to get raped in the bathroom in that scene, but he took that out because it's like, this is supposed to be like the greatest comedy like movie ever, and you trying to squander by having that in the movie. Yeah. So he was the one that vetoed that out and all the different stuff. Like,
but he said Ricky Smiley was okay with that scene being in it.
Yeah, because some of the niggas don't be giving a fuck about a lot of that stuff. But that's what I'm saying. Because even in saying like that, the role, and you saying like that, the role was already there.
It wasn't really his.
Yeah, he made the character into his own, but the role was probably already there, and they probably did contact Ricky Smiley and say like, "We want you to do this role," but shit, after Katt Williams came in, they were like, "Yeah, we're gonna just do with this nigga."
That's what it sounds.
I don't say I got to watch the whole thing.
That's why I said like it's all alleged. Like,
yeah, true. So there's some stuff where it could be looked at from that spectrum, obviously. And then this one, I'm definitely gonna put another alleged on top of this one, because Katt Williams, he said the next contract I signed, if Ricky Smiley is gonna be in another movie with me, he has to wear a dress in it.
Why?
Because that's the role that he feels Ricky Smiley is suited for. And in the next movie that Katt Williams was in, that had Ricky Smiley also in it, he wore a dress.
What movie was that?
I didn't look up which movie it was.
I was about to say, what other movies were they in together?
That's crazy though.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
So he was saying like I've got to put in my contract that I ain't working with this dude unless he in a dress. And then Tyler Perry caught it straight too. He's like him and Tyler Perry are the only dudes that can play women. Like they can't play men in movies. That's basically what he was saying about them. Like he was just like everybody was catching the
Tyler Perry can play, man.
He said,
it's weird.
He's a certain type of man. He not about to play no like you know what I mean.
Tyler Perry played a man in his Why Did I Get Married movies. That role, he was just playing Tyler Perry in the movie.
Well, what's the other one too that he played a man?
That's what I'm going to say. Not the
Diary
movies
of a
he
Mad Black
wrote
Woman.
or that his production company is. The Alex Cross.
Alex Cross, that movie, like you couldn't take Tyler Perry serious in that movie.
Exactly.
He can't play like in a deeply serious role, but if it was just like a side, if he's playing like a main character, side character, like I feel like he could play.
Because he do great in his own movies, like with his own movies. Because it's his.
He knows a certain character that he can.
Because his male character, Joe is hilarious.
Yeah.
Or in a comedy type role.
That Joe is fucking.
He not playing no top leading. You know what I mean? Like a active male role, unfortunately.
Because that was the only one. It was the Alex Cross one, and that did not go well.
Yeah.
Especially that was based in Grosse Pointe.
Then he played in one of the Ninja Turtle movies too. Played Baxter Stockman. Everybody's like, that's just Tyler Perry with glasses. Come on.
You can't unsee him from his production.
Yeah.
He like fucking Urkel.
Yeah.
Yeah, true.
A little bit, yeah.
It can't
no
really
matter what he
outside of that.
you see Urkel.
Yeah.
Or Carlton.
Or Carlton. You see, no matter what they playing, you still see that.
Mm-hmm.
But that's not a bad thing for Tyler Perry because he literally has his own production company.
Yeah.
For them, it was bad because
it's bad after. I mean, but granted, he's older or whatever. So by the time he's done, like the crowd that want to see Madea, by the time that crowd start to die down, he can like, I'm done with acting. I could just produce now.
Yeah.
So I was like, you can play Madea so much, and then once your audience kind of like, I'm done with that.
I don't think they ever gonna be done with it because he just brain heat with Madea. I'm sorry, the nigga killed the Madea shit.
No, the movies be good, but then you add Madea.
I'm not saying that, but I'm saying
sprinkle. You know what I mean? Like a little cherry on top.
I'm saying
of the
Madea movies,
like,
you ain't gonna really grab a younger audience. You might get some of the younger audience, but not as much to like where it's the profit is
where it's
evening out.
Well, shit, the young people don't spend money. Older people spend the money.
Yeah. Exactly.
So that's what I'm because young motherfuckers don't really go to the movies no more. It's all older people going to the movies.
Especially like a Tyler Perry movie.
Yeah.
Yeah. Good luck. So he also ended up saying, this is about Kevin Hart. In 15 years, no one in Hollywood had memory of going to a sold-out Kevin Hart concert or ever hearing about him getting a standing ovation. Ever heard of a comedian coming to LA? For context, now he's talking about just like how fast people rise in like the comedy space. Mm-hmm. He's saying, have you ever heard of anybody come to LA, do comedy for a year, and then get a sitcom TV show? Because he had that show in 2004, The Big House. He had that show. Mm-hmm. And then a year later...
I don't even remember that shit.
Yeah.
He only had like a few episodes.
Was that his show, though? Or was he just
that was
a
his
character
show.
on the show?
It was his show. Oh. It was his show. And then his own leading like role in a movie with the Soul Plane also after that. And he was like, if that's not the definition of an industry plan, I don't know what is. Because the man just kind of came out of nowhere. And then he was also talking about...
And for context, when
and shit before all that?
Paper Soldiers was a hood classic, though.
But that's what I'm saying. It's still a movie, though.
Yeah, but even though he played the character, it wasn't his movie.
But it was him. He was a main character.
He was a main character, but it wasn't a Kevin Hart movie. Like Soul Plane, Kevin Hart wrote, and he was like the director, producer.
Oh, okay, so that was his own. Obviously, I didn't know that.
Yeah, but
I'm glad
also
you got your shit together.
For clarification too, in the beginning when Josh had said like, have you ever heard like Kevin Hart hasn't sold out any shows or had a standing ovation. He was talking about in the Laugh Factory, like in the lower comedy clubs before blowing up.
Yeah,
like that's what he
was. Grassroots boy.
Yeah, this is all back like that show that he had. The sitcom show was 2004, and like all stuff prior to this for like more context. But he's basically saying like that whole LA thing was made up because in his documentary that Kevin Hart did with Chris Rock, he was saying how his entire upbringing came from the East Coast and everything. And it didn't really make sense or add up how he ended up getting from the East Coast and being like over here doing shows in LA and blowing up in a year at the same time. Like the timing didn't match up. And he was saying,
but then again, with that too, a lot of people in the industry do say Kevin Hart was going for any and every role that was available. He was at every tryout or acting audition for whatever role. It didn't matter. That's why you started to see Kevin Hart in all these small little pop-up scenes because he was going to every single thing he was trying to get. He said he had a little 2-bedroom apartment when he moved out here. He was just hustling to go, I gotta make it pop somehow. Yeah. And he was just doing all that. So,
but that actually might feed into what he's saying. He's saying you're going to any and every room. Some of them rooms a little sketch, brother.
I'm not saying, but he could
go be a little back. In the words of Corey Holcomb's, a little backdoor action up in the motherfucking room.
But also Kevin Hart too. Like he was going for every audition. That's how he got in the 40-Year-Old Virgin, that small ass scene with him and Romney Malky.
Damn near stole him. That was one of the funniest parts of the movie.
What else was in that scene? I mean, another movie. What was it? A superhero movie with Drake Bell. They made a spoof of like Spider-Man. Drake Bell got bit by a dragonfly. And
I didn't see that.
It was like a scary movie type spoof of superhero movies.
Okay.
But Kevin Hart was in that. He was just popping up in a bunch of like little quick scenes and movies and everything. He was always popping up. And then
cameos and
when Chris Rock had that movie, not Meet the Blacks, Death at a Funeral or something like that, with all the comedians in it. Kevin Hart was in there. He played a bigger role. Then he was able to work his way to get.
That was a fucking hilarious movie.
Yeah, Kevin Hart was in that.
That shit was funny.
But then when Kevin Hart got his "I'm a Grown Little Man" stand up, it went from that to seriously funny, and that's what really took him off.
But what he's saying, because Soul Plane came out before those, didn't it?
Yeah.
So that's what he's saying. He's saying like, before you even really dropped your first comedy special, you already got your movie out that you done wrote, produced, and directed. And they allowing that already?
Look at in Paper Soldiers, Benny Siegel's in it. Dame Dash.
But that's what I was also gonna say.
Who else? Charlie Murphy was in
some
it.
Connections. You got a network.
Yes, it was. It was connections with people in there, and especially Rockefeller at the time was jumping with Jay-Z and all of them. So Kevin Hart met all of them way back then, so he had connections to people.
Yeah,
and that's probably how he was able to finesse his way into getting a movie Soul Plane, especially if you can get Snoop Dogg to sign off on it, to be in it too. So Snoop Dogg played one of the major characters, and then you got every other black comedian to really sign off on this movie.
Yeah, that's true.
But even then, flip side, did they sign off on it because of you, or was it more so of the industry, like a plant, like? Or the we need y'all to go do this. It's for him. Like y'all owe us a favor. Go do that for us.
It's hard to say because it wasn't like Soul Plane had. If he had like big name actors that popped up in it, I will believe it. Yeah, I would believe it a little bit more so than I would now. But because he had
Monique, he had motherfucker Snoop Dogg is big time. Even back then, Snoop Dogg.
Snoop was known, but Snoop wasn't as big as Snoop is now.
No, he wasn't that big.
For acting. No.
Yeah.
Snoop was our dude at that. When Soul Plane came out, Snoop
Dogg
was
did Bones. What y'all mean?
Oh. I'm not saying he wasn't popping, but
Bones Snoop Dogg.
Bones is another hood classic.
Yeah, but even from the music though, Snoop is worldwide. He been worldwide for a long time. It ain't just happening while we older. Snoop been worldwide for a long ass time.
He wasn't as worldwide back then as he is now. He was known back then, but he wasn't as universally loved.
What time? What year?
Soul Plane came out like 03.
Yeah, I'm thinking like Snoop Dogg been like that for like the past 15 years.
It was like 03.
So.
It was like 02 to 03. That window.
Really? No, I feel like he was still in the.
I feel like Snoop Dogg has been like that since I don't like the 90s. Remember
when Snoop first came out and he was with Death Row, niggas fucked with him. And people who listen to rap fuck with him. Then he got on that murder charge and everything. Then he started popping up in little shitty ass movies here and there.
But then he's always doing him.
And he still had music banging.
He did, but he wasn't as universally loved as he is now.
I don't know, though. That's a different argument for a different day. Go ahead.
He's opening some new avenues, but I feel like everybody
like,
still loved him. No one ever disliked him.
Back to the Soul Plane thing. If you go back and look at all the comedians that was in this movie,
yeah,
like John Witherspoon was in it, Samore was in the movie, Godfrey.
Well, Godfrey wasn't the big actor.
No, they wasn't. Monique is probably the biggest actor that was in the movie. At that time, outside of Megan Good. Was that Megan? No, that wasn't Megan Good in the movie.
No, hell no. I forgot that lady's name. But you say John Witherspoon is Monique bigger than John Witherspoon?
At that time, yes. That Monique was hot at that time.
That's a toss up for me personally.
That's a good one.
But like
Monique was hot.
They still had good actors
because that was the Parkers. But what I'm trying to say is these comedians Kevin Hart had in this movie. Yes, they were known, but they wasn't like he went and got Eddie Murphy to be in this movie, or he went and got Seinfeld or these big known actors to be in his movie. He got like some B-list celebrities in a sense, not trying to shit on their career, but B-list actors at the time, and black like us, like comic view actors.
A-list black stars. They in the black community, they're A-listers.
But worldwide wise, not in our community, yes. That's why Soul Plane was bootleg so much. White people wasn't watching Soul Plane.
It was bootleg so much. It's crazy. Everybody got a bootleg.
Gotta have the extended version too, the uncut boy.
So back to.
Do y'all remember when Katt Williams got canceled, quote unquote, for talking about Harvey Weinstein before all of the allegations and stuff ended up coming out?
I had no idea.
Look it up for people that don't know.
I didn't know that either until he said it.
But these are just like his words too from the podcast, and he was saying that Harvey Weinstein offered to suck him off in front of apparently like all the people at his agency, and I don't know if he explicitly said that, and that's what got him quote unquote canceled at the time for it.
That boy freaky.
Yeah, like knowing what we know now.
That's the thing. I've never heard Katt Williams ever talk about the Harvey Weinstein. Talk about Harvey Weinstein. I'm not saying he didn't. But I've never heard about it.
Probably just wasn't on our radar for real.
So,
or we probably did, and it's so much shit you consume that you forget. I don't even remember half the shit I consumed 2023, and that shit was 5 days ago.
Like, didn't you talk about this on the podcast? Did we?
Like, no, for real, I be having to ask. I'm like, did we hit this topic or this topic?
Funny as hell.
Like, we just talk about something and then just move on from it, like real quick. He was also talking about Steve Harvey and Cedric the Entertainer with Cedric about the joke stealing thing, because he was also on Club ShayShay, where in 2000 on the Kings of Comedy he stole Katt Williams' joke, like his ending joke at the very end of his set, and Katt Williams had did that joke 2 years prior on live television
on Comic View.
Yeah, on Comic View, and they used it as an ad, like to promote the Comic View. But Cedric saw him do that at like the Comedy Store, I think they call it, or Comic View. Like he saw him do it there, and then a few years later, because presumably he didn't think Katt Williams would be what he was, and then he used that joke in there.
But he switched the car to a spaceship.
Yeah, that was like the only difference. But pretty much everything else was like verbatim. So
remixed.
So when it was asked to Cedric when he was on Club ShayShay, he said like the timing and everything didn't add up and all that. And then after hearing Katt Williams' opinion, it's like, oh, what are you talking about? Like how does that time frame not add up? And then he was talking,
before we move on past that part.
He was going in on Cedric.
I don't know. I feel like you got to go back and watch Comic View to see Katt Williams tell this joke, because I watched Comic View as a kid when I was supposed to.
Nigga.
I don't remember seeing Katt Williams.
One of my favorite shows as a kid is Comic View. I'm sick they don't have it on still.
I remember Lil JJ. That's how I seen Lil JJ. Lil JJ was on Comic View when he was literally, he was like 11 years old on there telling jokes. But I don't remember ever seeing Katt Williams on Comic View. I'm not saying he wasn't, but I don't remember ever seeing him on there. First time I ever seen Katt Williams was on Friday After Next.
Yeah, I mean, that was probably a good chunk of people's first time seeing him.
I'm not saying Katt Williams wasn't on Comic View. I just didn't see him.
Yeah.
And Katt Williams did say like that was his closing joke, and he did say Mark Curry helped him Like, he said he was telling a joke and it was funny, but he said Mark Curry sat down with him and helped him fine tune the joke and get it to really. And he's like, it was my closer.
Shout out to Mark Curry.
So, I did X, Y, Z, and he said Cedric Entertainer he came and watched the show and seen that joke kill. And he came up to it like, yo, you funny as hell, man, blah, blah, blah. This, that, and the third. He said a couple years later, Cedric Entertainer ended up telling that joke in the Kings of Comedy movie and just changed the car to a spaceship. And then he said Katt Williams, Cedric Entertainer gave him some type of award for winning, like almost like an Emmy. But he just always downplayed, like, you stole my joke. It's like, no, I didn't steal your joke. But in the comedy world, it's popular to steal people's jokes.
Yeah, and allegedly, too, Katt Williams said that Steve Harvey and Cedric apologized to him for stealing that, like, over a decade or so ago. And then to, like, hear him talk about it on the podcast, like, really rubbed him the wrong way because he was he was giving off that impression, like, I didn't see Katt Williams a whole bunch of times. Like, we ain't had no problems, like, with none of that because, like, I didn't steal the joke. The times didn't line up, all this stuff. You know what I'm saying? Like,
so you all come to me and apologize. Allegedly, you come to me and apologize for stealing my joke. We squash it. We leave it at that. And then blah, blah. Then a couple years later, when people ask you about the joke,
that's crazy.
You're like, man, I've been around Katt Williams a bunch of times. It's never came up. Like, the timeline wise of this joke and everything didn't add up or blah, this, that, and third. It's like, all right, now you playing with me.
Yeah, chill out,
because it's the time. Because now if you would have said I've been around him and we ain't really had no issues with it or nothing, that's cool. But now you
twisting the narrative.
Yeah, you recanting your statement now. You saying that we ain't never had no man, boy.
Man, boy.
And then he was going in on Steve Harvey too. I didn't know Katt Williams was the first one to expose Steve Harvey's hairpiece.
Yeah.
Everybody could have saw that.
I didn't know that was fake.
I didn't know that was fake.
I forgot about that. Like,
I didn't know that was fake when I was a kid. I thought that was real.
That nigga had the crispiest fro on the plate. That's all the nigga knew. It stayed shaped up.
The OG.
That's why that bitch stayed shaped up. That bitch was going on the mantle when he got off stage. That bitch stayed shaped up. Like, this nigga got the barber, right? Hold on. Clip. It wasn't no piece of hair out of place. It was the perfectly shaped fro.
That boy didn't even blow with the wind or nothing.
Ain't go nowhere where it was wind.
Come on.
So
can't risk it.
So he was talking about how or why Steve Harvey stopped doing comedy. And at the time, I don't know when Steve Harvey said this, according to Katt Williams, but he said the reason was at the time I had 7 TV shows that I was doing. So I wasn't really trying to focus on comedy that much. But Katt Williams like, nah, bro, you did not have those 7 shows at the time. And the reason was because I told you that hairpiece was fake. And then you couldn't show your face on the comedy industry again.
Yeah, I did hear him say that. Because remember years ago, we was in high school when they had the Katt Williams versus Steve Harvey comedy show.
I remember that. That shit was going on the radio, going to school.
Bro, it was the biggest thing that was ever talked about. And they did it here. And everybody who went to that show, my parents went to that show. They came back home. I asked them who won between Steve Harvey and Katt Williams. And they said Katt Williams killed his ass.
Because Katt is he's a different fucking level. He just on his own. Yeah, Katt is just on his own level, bro.
But they said Steve Harvey, like, they said people laughed at his jokes, but it wasn't like you laughed at him, but you wasn't down. Like when Katt Williams got up there, they said people was falling out of chairs. People was like going crazy.
You know who, Tira? I put like Katt Williams and Eddie Griffin.
Eddie Griffin ain't that funny to me no more.
The shit he be saying, it's more so he'll have you really thinking.
He can have you really thinking, but to me,
his shit, I be fucking with some of his shit though.
His older shit was hilarious to me. As he got older, it's like
it's damn near the Katt Williams thing though. Nah, if you really pay attention, it damn near is.
I think Katt better than Eddie. I think Eddie has a shtick that he sticks to, and it's just like
Katt Williams just sounds.
It's like the same joke to me. Eddie Griffin tells the same jokes just different ways.
I ain't gonna say that one.
Yeah, Katt Williams is tough. It's like consistently new material over the years. Like, you got a lot of different stuff. 12 Netflix specials.
Like I think Dave Chappelle, he has new jokes, But I think you go to Dave Chappelle to listen to his storytelling. Then you get hit with some jokes more so than you go for his jokes. Katt Williams, he is hilarious from start to finish. Eddie Griffin to me, he has this shtick to where he shit on white people, talk about black people do this, and just constantly do that, but just tell it in different ways, aggressively. And to me, it'd be the same jokes, but it's just like, nah.
Nah, I don't agree with that.
Some of his shit be funny, but some of them like
I think he gives when he do his comedy, it's more so from it's damn near like he a damn school teacher who throwing jokes in because he really gonna teach you about shit that happened for real. But that's why I say it's like a Katt Williams because Katt Williams if you listen to Katt Williams most of his stand up, he is really educating you through jokes.
Smart. I think the comedians
is really
the best
educating
comedians
you
can
through
do
jokes.
Yeah.
Because the shit they're saying has to do with the time, or it may have to do with the time frame, or like the time we're in now, and it's enlightening you, showing you like, are y'all really thinking about this in this manner? And to try to give you a difference, because that's basically what comedy. Well, great comics.
I remember being high, listening to Eddie Griffin. He talking about 1 + 1 = 3. He started going and breaking the shit down and everything.
That's what I'm saying. It's a fucking school teacher, bro.
Listen to him breaking it down while you high. It really have you fucked up. You're like, hold on, bro. Pause this. Pause this movie. Don't get me wrong. Eddie Griffin during his Malcolm and Eddie days and on through.
Oh man,
he was in my top 3 favorite comedians. But like, I haven't seen any new material from him that's making me legit laugh.
When the last time like you actually seen something from him?
It's been a while.
That's what I'm saying.
He hasn't really put out anything new.
He has. He be doing his. He still gonna do stand ups and everything.
I know he do, but
he got his own. He got a YouTube, and he be going on there. And he just be talking.
I gotta go look on his YouTube because I haven't heard him put out. I haven't seen any of his newer specials.
He's one of the ones who is silenced. That's what I'm saying.
I mean, yeah, even when I go, like last year, I did go looking for him. I couldn't find anything new. I just always seen material I seen already.
That's why you saying he doing old jokes. Clay, you watching the same damn video 30 times. He hasn't put shit up.
He hasn't put shit out. I know he has a residency in Vegas, but he hasn't really put anything new out. And I'm like,
when we I'm gonna find out when he come here. I want us to go to a show.
I want to go to a show. I want to go to a comedy show
because he's one of the comedians I want to. He made me want to go see him in person.
Laugh. You better be laughing.
So last thing on about like one of the last big things that Katt said in the interview, Shannon, he asked him if him and Ludacris were brothers, but I was like, what?
Huh?
I had never heard anybody ever ask that question before, so I was really confused. And then Katt Williams' response was even crazier because he goes, well, here's the thing.
What?
We were both invited to an Illuminati thing.
He just be talking, bro. This is why I can't take him seriously ever. He just be talking.
Listen. So he said we were invited to an Illuminati party, and they were basically saying like it was going to be either me or Luda. One of us had to get our hair cut and could no longer do like the pointy sideburns and all that anymore. And
we know who did.
What you get? $200 million across 20 movies.
So $10 million per movie.
No wonder why they're making all these Fast and Furious.
That's what he said. That's what he said. He said, what movie is Fast and Furious on?
10. And they stopped it right now. They stopped. They canceled the next movie.
Finally.
They gonna find some moves for him.
That's funny.
No, that's funny.
Yo,
like, hey.
That's why I said this got to be alleged. Like,
that's funny.
The crazy part about this is Katt Williams could just be talking his ass off, and people be full on believing it because people love conspiracy theories to be true, and
they're gonna start diving.
And they love to see all these people get broken down.
Yeah.
Like, but Katt Williams could just be on here talking shit.
Yeah.
I don't think he is though, because Katt Williams never come out just to talk shit.
Yeah.
Normally he come out when he talking shit is nah, nigga, this is real shit.
Katt Williams got to a fight with a kid and got choked out. Come on, man.
That don't mean that ain't real shit. That little kid, that was a little aggressive ass kid on hormones. They was feeding that kid steroids.
But what I'm saying, like Katt Williams do get caught up in some messed up shit all the time. And granted, all the shit he get caught up in, it is misdemeanors. I don't want to, like, don't get me wrong. I'm kind of leaning more towards Katt than I am everyone else, but at the same time, I can't take his words just for facts when there's been no proof.
Just be talking.
Yeah, and let's receipts are getting shown, then we have a different conversation.
If they don't come up against him, if nobody really steps up against him, I'm taking that as his word is law right now.
One thing
because he say, I got the receipts.
Look, one thing he said,
you got to release the receipts.
Listen. One thing he said that really stuck out to me.
Hold your receipts, at least. You got to hold your receipts.
Look, one thing he said that really stuck out to me, he's like, when I walk into a room, heads go down.
Yeah, because you're short, nigga. Everybody got to look down at you.
Come on now. Chill out.
Katt Williams acting like...
okay.
No, man.
Oh. Anyway.
And secondly, if these people don't fuck with you the way you say you fuck with them, I mean, they fuck with you. You can't sit here and say, you talk all this shit about Kevin Hart, but you and Kevin Hart never been in the same place. But you're talking shit about Kevin Hart during this podcast, during this episode, and all these other comedians, but you say you haven't seen them in years. But when you go in these rooms, heads go down.
Yeah,
like they are they in the same room with you or are they not?
But he might not be referring.
He wasn't referring to Kevin Hart.
Yeah, he might not be referring to them.
He said I haven't been in a room with Kevin Hart in 25 years. Like I don't. And
what I'm saying, like
that's intentional because they did. They done movies together. They've been in movies together.
What movie?
School Day, not School Days, but
School Dance.
School Dance. Yeah. They was in that movie together. They did. I thought they did another movie together.
I'm pretty sure they did, but I don't know. Like you bigging yourself up. Like when I walk in the room, heads go down. Like it's
not giving.
Yeah, go watch the full podcast. Get all the content that you need for it.
It's hard for me to believe. Like I'm not saying Katt wrong because I don't know that nigga from a can of paint.
Listen, I done seen shit like that happen though. When it's a nigga in the room who really know the real about everybody, the atmosphere do change in the room. Like when the motherfucker you with a motherfucker who done told you like all these
but
and y'all go in the room and you really see like this shit different when he done walked in this bitch. Y'all is not the same people.
But if you go in this
not
room,
the same people.
If you go in this room around people that is quote unquote in the Illuminati or had shortcuts to get to where they are in their career and everything, but they don't fuck with you, how are you in these same areas with these people? I'm not talking like restaurants or anything, but if you go to like a party, wouldn't Katt Williams not be invited to this Illuminati party with these motherfuckers?
Every party might not be an Illuminati party, and somebody might be throwing a party and they just happen to fuck with these people too.
But these same people that you don't fuck with, like they're the ones, like they're big up in the industry. I feel like they would have pulled to be like, don't bring Katt here. But, if you're saying they have connections like that.
Yeah, but that's all depending on who throwing the party. Because depending on who throwing the party, you can't do that to everybody. Don't invite, man, you might as well stay your ass at home.
Exactly.
But this party about to be one of the livest parties of the year. You want to be here.
Mm-hmm. I ain't saying Katt telling the truth. I ain't saying Katt lying. That's how I feel about it.
Yeah.
We're just giving our thoughts on this stuff.
In other news, and even more.